Wednesday, both the United States and Canada did the important thing and qualified for the 2007 World Cup. Now the trophy's on the line, and the U.S. look to reestablish their supremacy against their biggest rival in Concacaf, Canada, who lost in South Korea to the Americans earlier. Now they look for revenge and to take home the Gold Cup for the first time. And welcome to the Home Depot Center here in Carson, where night has fallen. All the games are in the books but one, the one that certainly everyone was looking forward to. The United States and Canada meeting here for the Gold Cup now that they know they're both on their way to the World Cup. So the main pressure's off, but now the competition really gets to get the juices flowing. Max Brelos and Mark Rogandino. And Mark, we saw some good entertaining action this week. We're going to see the best right now.
I think this is the one that the critics were waiting for in the beginning. Canada and the U.S. rematching a similar match that they played in the finals of the Peace Queens Cup in South Korea just about a month ago, where, of course, the U.S. took away a 1-0 victory in that one thanks to team captain Kristine Lilly. And they'll look to add the third trophy to their hardware case if they can come up with the win here tonight. The women from U.S., winners in 2000, getting past Brazil, in 2002, getting past the Canadian women's national team. So they'll look to accomplish the same feat here in 2006. And before it was called the Gold Cup, of course, Canada back in 1998, they put their hands on the trophy. And there you see the dominance in the early 90s by the U.S. women's national team. Really a team that has laid the groundwork for some of the stars and younger players who have come into the fold for the U.S. women's national team today.
Domination by the United States certainly into this competition. And Canadians getting through in 98 when in its old form. The United States aren't participating. The Canadians are getting closer to the U.S., but always trailing this U.S. team. And what a victory it would be if they could get by here. But it's on the U.S. home turf and a lot going on. Let's take a closer look as this tournament unfolded, with the U.S. getting a mighty fight from Mexico. Richard Lopez spills his ball in front, and the poacher, Abby Wambach.
Abby Wambach, who's there to tuck it home. Mexico did have their chances. Hope Solo with the parry over the crossbar on that one. Still in the first half action, headed over the top. And Sofia Perez would try her best to deny that Lindsay Tarpley chance. In the second half, what a great near-post head. The comb-over header, as my colleague Max Bretos likes to refer to it. Abby Wambach, her second goal of the game. That made it 2-0. That was probably about the most difficult save that Hope Solo had to make on her way to helping guide the U.S. women's national team to the 2-0 win. And, of course, that confirmed their spot into the 2007 World Cup in China. So they still have their work cut out for them. As you mentioned, the pressure off, Max, in a sense that they know they have the bid for the World Cup, but also you know that they don't want to come up short and not deliver the goods here tonight in the Gold Cup finals.
Canada up against Jamaica in the semifinals, and slow out of the gates. Missing that opportunity is Wilkinson. Canadians obviously get most of the chances, just couldn't get one through. And that missed opportunity, still unable to get the goal.
Finally, Sinclair, after missing a wide-open chance before that, she delivers there to make it 1-0 going into the break. Sinclair delivering the pass here for Wilkinson to make it 2-0. Lazy defending, something we saw a lot of from Jamaica in that match on Wednesday. And that allows Kristine Sinclair to make it 3-0. And just for good measure, Melanie Booth heading one into the wide-open net past Paula Jackson. 4-0 was the final in this one, but I think Evan Pellerud would agree they did not exactly play their best soccer that night. So the starting lineup for the U.S., Hope Solo, she is the dominant goalkeeper, a youngster but coming into her own right. Mitz, Rampone, Whitehill, Markgraf, she is inserted into the midfield along with Miller, Leslie Osborne. She was really a startup part of the midfield for the U.S. women's national team. And up top, it's Kristine Lilly and Abby Wambach. We had a chance to catch up with Capt Whitehill before tonight's game, and she told us about the head-to-head match with Canada.
Right. Playing Canada is always a difficult game. You never know what they're going to bring that day, but you always know they're going to be hard, they're going to be physical, and they're going to be tough in the air. And the ball is going to be bouncing everywhere, and somehow we have to figure out how to settle it down, play the way we know how to play, and I think that we've prepared all year for this game, and we're all excited to play it.
Now look at the Canadian 11. It doesn't seem like there's as many changes to this squad as we saw with the U.S.
Well, Erin McLeod, she will be in goal again. You see Isabelle Morneau, she is inserted into the starting lineup after being a substitute on Wednesday's affair. Rianne Wilkinson, Christine Sinclair, the two players up top you really want to keep your eyes out for, and it's Diana Matheson. I think she is really the player that gets it all started for Canada in the midfield, along with Martina Franko. She brings a defensive presence in the midfield for Canada.
The crowd ushering in for the playing of the Star-Spangled Banner. The U.S. and Canada both will be in the World Cup. Both will be amongst the favorites in that competition. And every World Cup, it seems like that group of favorites extends. In those old days where it was the United States or Norway or China, now you have, of course, Germany and Sweden, Canada, as we look again at the starting 11 for the United States.
Well, but it's a new list of names, really, for the U.S. team. You recognize a couple of names in Osborne and Abby Wambach, obviously. Coach Greg Ryan, though, has brought in some great new players into the fold. And on the other side here for Evan Pellerud, again, the starting lineup, it's the captain, Christine Sinclair, who you want to keep your eyes open for. And she will no doubt give the U.S. women's team a bit of fits from time to time. She's great skill on the ball, but also possesses the great soccer knowledge to know where to make other players on her team even more valuable out on the field, able to slip balls through into dangerous spots. There's Coach Greg Ryan. We spoke to him earlier this week, and his counterpart, Evan Pellerud, the Norwegian, leading the way here for the Canadian women's national team.
And Virginia Tovar, our lead official. We saw the benches for both teams. Pretty talented benches at that, with a lot of players that saw action in the semifinals. There's Heather Mitz, a face we quite familiar, the new face of U.S. soccer, along with several others. New young generation that want to keep the level that it was previously at. And this Canadian team taking big steps in closing the gap with the Americans initially. Now still making smaller steps all the time, but they want to make one big sound now with a victory in the Gold Cup.
Now, this is the final competitive match for the U.S. women's national team here in 2006, where they've played more than 20 games this year. I mentioned that they would like to put another trophy into the case. After taking first place in the Peace Queens Cup, they also were the winning side for the Four Nations tournament in China this past January. So if they can add the Gold Cup to that list, it would be a great year in 2006 for the U.S. women's national team. And looking forward into the match, Max, I think Canada will try and not let the U.S. side get into a good rhythm. I think when you see the U.S. start to knock the ball around the pitch and find a good rhythm, that's when they really find the channels to work themselves forward.
Two nations that don't lose that often, in particular for the red, white, and blue. Something will give here. Will it be another win for the U.S. at the Canadians' expense, or will it be that breakthrough victory? The Canadians also going with some newer faces in the lineup, some new young players that we've already seen to make an impact this week. Scurry on the bench for the United States, but now at 35, the door is open for Hope Solo.
You know, we mentioned that obviously the berth has already been obtained by both of these sides, but the pressure that might still be on the U.S. women's national team is also to keep that streak alive under the guidance of their coach, Greg Ryan. They have yet to be beaten in regulation. since March of 2005. That's quite a streak. And you know that these Canadian women would love to be the first team to deal them that loss.
USA in white, Canada in red. Hope Solo in blue. We're going to pick up Natasha Kai. The main goal scorers scored for these two teams, with Sinclair getting a brace, Wambach getting a brace. Here is Kristine Sinclair. Knows these American players very well. Out wide to Melanie Booth. Chipped it in. Problem for a moment. The U.S. able to handle things. Rampone. Back in from Amy Walsh. As we look, actually Martina Franko had slipped up, who can also play in defense. But where's the number 10? We'll see how the momentum swings early on.
I mentioned it on Wednesday's affair against Jamaica, but it should also be noted here that Canada without Charmaine Hooper, along with another forward, Christine Latham, and defender Charlotte Nonen. All three of those players in a bit of a controversy right now with the Canadian Soccer Association, so they are not even listed on the roster here, and a chance for some other players really to step up. No telling whether or not those three players will be back in the fold come World Cup time in 2007, as we get a look at the foul there. Abby trying to track back to win the ball, whistled for the foul.
And a piece of Isabel Morneau. Free kick, Candace Chapman, born in Trinidad and Tobago. I'm going to tilt things in their favor again. Walsh's cross. Cat Whitehill able to get it back to Hope Solo. Cat Whitehill, of course, previously Kat Reddick. She's gotten married.
Congratulations to her.
Birmingham, Alabama native. This one slips out on the right side and knocked out by Randee Hermus. Kristine Lilly. Not much more you can say about the career she's had. This is Capt 319. She's a Centurion with goals. She's the bridge between the classic generation and the new one.
Absolutely.
Really, of course, second in all-time goals, just behind Mia Hamm. Off the charts with 158 career goals. Several of those came at the expense of Canada back in the old days, but things have turned. This is offside.
Right idea there by the U.S., trying to switch the point of attack. Canada evacuating their own defensive third, and the first-time ball to the far post. And watch the nice head ball looking there. He couldn't catch it at the end there, but they were looking for the feet of Abby Wambach back inside the 18-yard box. She was in the offside position, though, so that's the free kick here for Canada.
Building from the back. Very even start here. That's straight out off the foot of Isabel Morneau. Slid back by Wambach, and now Natasha Kai, the Hawaiian, who has already got 6 international goals under her belt. Just 23.
Interesting, Max, as we get the whistle on a free kick here for the U.S. side, that Morneau is inserted into the starting lineup at the right back spot, because it was Kristen Kiss who played in that position back on Wednesday against Jamaica. And we saw her several times be an integral part of a lot of the set pieces for Canada, so I'm not sure if maybe Evan Pellereau just giving way to a couple of other players to get them seasoned for the World Cup, but I thought that Kristen Kiss was one of the more impactful players for Canada.
This one scary for Canada. They can't clear it. Whipped in and into the back of the net. It is Leslie Osborne. One mistake, and the Americans make them pay for it.
Well, that shot somehow had eyes for Leslie Osborne, as She hits it right inside the 18-yard box off the left foot. You'll see she's the first one to get to the ball after it is headed clear by the Canada defense right there with the left foot. And I think actually a nice job on the doorstep there by Abby Wambach, providing a slight little dummy. And it slips past Erin McLeod and into the back of the net. 1-0 USA. One more look at it right here, although she did hit it very solidly. And either way, Leslie Osborne will take it. She worked very hard against Mexico on Wednesday at the center of the defense. And her first goal of the Gold Cup. A nice time to get your name on the scoring sheet, opening it up here in the early part of half number 1.
Nice goal there for Aussie, as she's referred to by her teammates. And for Leslie Osborne, who broke onto the scene in 04 with the U.S. women and has cemented her spot in that midfield. That is only goal number 2. Canadians had a chance to clear it. 2 players there, including the goalkeeper, McLeod, but it got through. Give credit to the striking prowess of Leslie Osborne. Back it comes to Chapman.
One thing about Leslie Osborne you have to keep in mind, she's filling in for Shannon Box, who is still trying to recover from a bit of an injury, a knee injury, I should say, over the past 12 months or so. You figure if you put both those players on the field at the same time defensively, they are going to act as a great stoppage in front of the back line of defenders. And there, Osborne showing you she can do it offensively as well.
Whipped in by Kristine Sinclair, who was originally getting up on that right side before Osborne shut things down. From a very impossible angle, it certainly put a scare into Hope Solo. Not the start that Evan Pellewood would have liked, but by no means are Canada out of this one. Too much talent on their side.
Well, conversely, Max, quite a start there for the U.S. ladies. And I think exactly what Coach Greg Ryan was looking for.
Just a mess in front. They just couldn't clear it. And there you see both McLeod and Chapman there. Chapman taking the free kicks now. With Kiss on the bench. And they get that ball in to Wilkinson, who was ubiquitous on Wednesday. We haven't seen her at all here on Sunday. See if she picks up the output. Robin Gayle. I think I can say it right this time. From Mississauga, Ontario. Comes out wide for Kristine Lilly. Pressured by Morneau. Whitehill. She's used to saying Reddick when doing the women's games. You kind of have to pause for a second.
Nice to see that the U.S. women's national team still sticking to their game plan here. Obviously, getting the early goal and putting themselves in front. You just want to make sure they stick with the Greg Ryan game plan, and that obviously involves lots of movement of the ball around the pitch. Heather Mitz into a hard tackle there.
Canada losing to the United States on November the 4th. And of course, Mark eluded to in Seoul, South Korea. Breaking forward again, the United States enjoying these opening 10 minutes. Plenty of targets here. It fell for Kai. Here comes the referee. It'll be a free kick for Canada.
And I think we had a head knock right at the edge of the 6-yard box as Natasha Kai went in there aggressively. I think that's really where in the women's game you can get a clear-cut advantage, because still from time to time there's players that will shy away from challenges there, and you saw Natasha Kai, she was ready to go after it and win it there as she was working against Martina Franko.
Lindsay Tarpley started with Abby Wambach on Wednesday. It's Natasha Kai's turn here. She did get in the second half. Here's Kai. Getting a lot of attention in the last few weeks. This women's team, a lot of the insiders saying, keep your eye on number 6. Again, she gets another touch, but it's offline. Stepping in is Matheson. Trying to work it up to Sinclair. Taken away, though, by Markgraf. Marcy Miller, seeing her first action. To Heather Mitz. Whitehill. Offline, but mishit by Morneau. Bailed out by Franko.
Although that ball did not make it all the way over the top, you can see the U.S. is really going to try and make sure they use the width here at the Home Depot Center. A wide pitch here in Carson, California, and that, I think, really plays well for the U.S. women's side. They have great attacking backs like Mitz and Rampone who can come forward and help out offensively.
And I'm moving forward. There's Diana Matheson. You might lose her. She's very short, especially when you see her alongside Kristine Sinclair, who's quite imposing.
And there's Franko coming in with the challenges. The goal scorer, Leslie Osborne, with a nice Cruyff movement there, trying to pull it back behind herself.
Rampone or Whitehill. And the foul by Franko. And Angela Hucles, who sees her first action here.
You could hear Coach Greg Ryan in the background yelling, "Look high, look high." So obviously he wants Abby Wambach to make sure she checks back. She's a big target up top for the ladies to serve the ball into. We talked about it on Wednesday, how she has the ability to hold off 1 and 2 defenders when she tries to collect it.
Into the mixer. It closed in on Wambach, but she commits the foul. Not much in there, and really wasn't much on the Kai foul that was called earlier.
As you said, Max, didn't look like much there. She tried to use her feet to get around to the other side of the Canadian defense to win that ball.
Miller. Late whistle, but a whistle against Chapman, bringing down Kai.
First touch, had the right idea. Natasha wanted to touch it to the inside. You see the smile on her face. She knows it wasn't the cleanest of first touches, but deservedly so. She earned the whistle.
Stretches out here for Osborne. And a nice play at the end there by Hermus. McLeod has to come up with that one. Cleared some space as she levels Wambach. We saw Abby on the deck a lot. She receives a lot of attention, as you can imagine, with the goal-scoring record she is amassing these days. Up to 66 goals now in 84 games. I mean, she gets another brace here, another brace there. She's going to pull level caps and goals, which is unheard of. Even Mia Hamm has to take a step back to that. Wilkinson, who's a lady, volunteered in college at University of Tennessee. Several of these Canadian ladies played their college soccer in the U.S. Wambach gets it into Kai. Promising build-up here for the U.S. women. Breaks around Chapman, but Chapman seemed to be there. Kai persevered and almost broke through.
A little bit indecisive as to what Natasha Kai wanted to do there. She didn't quite see the attacking runs coming forward where she could lay the ball into space for somebody, so she decided to go on her own, but some good defending there from Candace Chapman.
This is onside. Wilkinson gets the ball over the top from Matheson in the 18. And a nice tackle there in the corner. Another Mitz shut it down. Back in it comes Wilkinson, looking for Melanie Booth, the left back who stayed up. It's percolating at the Home Depot Center. The Gold Cup on the line, and both teams pushing forward.
Canada definitely pushing forward, Max, trying to come back and find the equalizer here in the early going. And that chance right there as Hope Solo goes up to grab it before Melanie Booth can get a touch to it. Let's go back the other way for the U.S. women's side. Great ball across. Osborne nicely trying to head it into the feet of Abby Wambach, but Canada is there to clear on that occasion. Both teams knocking at the door, looking for more here with the U.S. on top 1-0.
A little delay with the throw, as we saw this on Wednesday. Cat Whitehill with the muscle from the throws. Back in again. Morneau gets it to the midfield. Slips through. Offside just.
Well, I tell you what, I think if Abby Wambach did not make an effort to go to that ball, the secondary run was definitely on, and you'll see it right here as the ball is played. I think the secondary run there came from Leslie Osborne.
Glenn Sayas from Panama. More hit underneath to Osborne. From Santa Clara. Rampone. Bangs it off of Melanie Booth to get possession for the U.S. via the throat.
Rampone didn't have too many options there. She was working back toward her own end, and rather than play a long ball through the middle, elected to just try and clear it out with a blind thumping ball out towards midfield.
20 minutes deep into this game. Whitehill. Only as far as Robin Gayle, former Canadian under-19. Now with the senior team. Look, cleats got caught in the Home Depot turf for Rampone, but you got enough of it to sway it away, but it will be a corner kick for Canada.
She did get enough just to flick it on, and wisely Canada lets that one trickle out. They'll have an opportunity to bring players like Candace Chapman along with Gayle up front for the set piece here.
And this, we saw Canada with the size advantage against Jamaica. They will excel in these situations. Wilkinson and Sinclair both good in the air with the size advantage over the smaller U.S. defenders.
You got to get the service there, though.
Kai's off and running. Path shut out by Morneau. Back to Kai. She looks deadly here. That touch not good enough, though. Hit back by Matheson to McLeod. She's like, Coach, I'll run and I'll run. And I got the pace to cause problems. The touchdowns have to be better there. Hermus. Kai up to Hucles. Back in the folds. On the right, waiting for things to develop. Swing and a miss. Lilly looking for Wambach. Second effort deflected. Wambach in front. Spilled for a moment by McLeod. She got it the second time around, and it needed to be clean. Kristine Lilly.
Kristine Lilly had two chances at it. The first one, the cross was denied. Came back to her on a second effort, and she said, heck with it. I'm going to try and shoot it in with my left foot. You could see that ball nearly claimed loose as well when Aaron McLeod tried to put the hands to it. Watch the end right there. Not so sure at the first grab.
Morneau. Able to head into the Canadian half. Rampone. Whitehill. Gonna feel the role that Joy Fawcett used to. Evan Pelleru, we mentioned Norwegian, great professional career in his native country, and previously coached the Norwegian women, who we all know are the world powers. Back and forth by Lilly, but not biting. Morneau was shaking the first few minutes, but she's been a real stopper ever since.
Well, she faced a tough test right there, going 1v1 against Kristine Lilly. She came away with the ball, too. She did not give up any ground.
Lovely ball by Lilly. She admires her work as Wambach, sometimes a victim of, I guess, her own size. I mean, she just looked like she was strolling along, minding her own business, banged in, and called for the foul.
I think she might have gotten the hands up just a little bit early. She goes for the ball. Watch her put her hands right there in the back, but perhaps bracing herself for the challenge to come. But I think you're right, Max. Sometimes because of her size and her strength, when she makes contact shoulder to shoulder, even in this case, it's against Candace Chapman.
And the paciest forward with some of these very quick defenders, so we need to get that ball a little further up. And still Gave it a fighting chance. Great ball again by Lilly, who orchestrates things so wonderfully for this U.S. team. And here's Greg Ryan on to a 32nd game without defeat. This is a situation where he could taste defeat for the first time, because this is Canadian team hungry and talented.
When you talk about Abby as well as Kristine Lilly, one of those two of 3 players, along with that player there, Christine Sinclair, up for the FIFA Women's World Player of the Year. So a display of female talent on hand here tonight at the HDC as well.
Wilkinson. Overhead view, final game of this 2006 Gold Cup. USA and Canada, just what we expected. Semifinals, although I think we both agree the next tier of teams have closed the gap, even though it may be slight.
Well, you have to think, with the way Mexico played in the consolation, taking that 3rd place match earlier tonight, you have to think how they might have done had they been in the semifinals against Canada.
Cross by Wilkinson, straight to Hope Solo.
But as we mentioned at the top, Max, I think this is the matchup that soccer fans were urging to see. A rematch of the final just a month ago from that Peace Queen Cup tournament. So Canada with maybe a chip on their shoulder in a sense that they feel like they have something to prove here tonight. And of course, the U.S. just want to reaffirm that they are the dominant team from North America.
This Gold Cup certainly helps the U.S. They get a few more games, and they get caps for sort of the ladies on the team. But really, you get the feeling the U.S. name is helping the other nations develop. Gives them a target from Mexico and Jamaica and Trinidad and Tobago for one day hoping to reach that level. Very underdeveloped in the women's game outside of North America, really. In Concacaf.
In Concacaf, absolutely. With the exception, I was going to say, of some of the European nations. Obviously, they put a pretty big emphasis on the women's program over there in Germany and Norway, as we touched on Sweden as well.
Well handled there in the back by Whitehill. Kai gets there first again. Hucles intercepted by the very pesky Diana Matheson. Heading towards 50 caps here. Wilkinson. Robin Gayle into North Carolina. Redirected. Here's a chance for Canada. Studs up. Look at Hope Solo. And she just brushes off the attempt by Matheson.
Well, that's what it takes from a goalkeeper sometimes, is to anticipate exactly where the ball will be. And this time, Hope Solo does exactly that. She shows her feistiness there as well.
Breaking at the other end. The U.S. got loose, but the effort from Wambach well too high.
Plenty of good soccer action here on Fox Soccer Channel. Premier League coming up this Wednesday. Actually, a double dip, and the first of those two will be Bolton and Chelsea. A battle of two teams in the top of the Barclays English Premier League table. That's Wednesday,
midweek.
3 p.m. Eastern Time, live, 12 noon Pacific, here on Fox Soccer Channel.
We can all catch our breath after Manchester United, Chelsea. Was there any doubt it was going to end 1-1?
I guess not, but it's for Manchester United fans. I think they're happy because they stay a couple of points in front of Chelsea in the table.
I'm not a betting man, but I would have said if there's a good payoff for 1-1, that would have been, I was just not surprised.
Well, I think probably even more of a concern for Red Devils fans is the fact that Cristiano Ronaldo, the Portuguese international, went out with a bit of an injury late in that one.
That's right. Ashley Cole involved. Look at Kai breaking forward. Try to cross. You need to be a little more selfish, even though it was a tough angle. Second wave of attack comes through, but it's out of play. As Angela Hucles was closing in there, the midfielder from Virginia Beach. And a turn of pace by Kai, just dusting the Canadian defense. Give credit to McLeod as she closed up that gap.
I think you have to give credit to the entire Canadian defense there, actually. They played it perfectly, not allowing Natasha Kai to slip the ball through to the backside run there from Abby, and at the same token making sure that her angle was not that great so that she could put in a quality shot on goal.
Marcy Miller, the Southern Methodist product. This is her 13th cap. Ball lost there in the midfield by the U.S. And it was Kristine Lilly, and it's going to be a throw-in back inside the half. Heather Mitz. A lovely turn. Held out there nicely at the last chance. Lilly just couldn't turn the corner. We've seen her get these impossible crosses. She's hoping to do it again after that great build-up from Wambach.
She does such a good job to make sure she held the ball there in some tight space as Wambach feeds it right into the space for her to get to it. And from our angle up here, it clearly looked as though Canada was the last to touch it, but it'll go out for a goal kick here for Erin McLeod.
We haven't mentioned Randee Hermus enough, but she is shut down 2 or 3 U.S. attacks. Free kick Canada.
And you know Randee Hermus is familiar with this U.S.-Canada rivalry. She missed the 2003 World Cup with an injury, but she is hoping things will be much different for her this time in 2007, but obviously a veteran with the Canadian women's national team and faced off against the U.S. women many times. Tell you what, a name that we have not mentioned much is Kristine Sinclair, other than in talking about what we expect from her, but she has been held very quiet so far by the back four of the U.S. women.
Very good point. This one slips through. It will end up with Hope Solo. In the last month, this is the 6th international for the U.S. That Peace Cup kept them quite busy with matches against Denmark, Australia, Holland, and Canada. Very tightly contested matches in South Korea involving the U.S. Lilly back to goal. Whitehill for Markgraf. Kate back in the 11 today, seeing her first action.
And that ball will be touched out as Angela Hucles with a nice effort there, but we'll see what you hear the crowd rising up with a bit of energy here as we get into the latter stages of half number 1. And Max, I think they want to see what the U.S. can do to maybe bury another goal here before the halftime break, and a nice opportunity from the corner here.
I guess a second goal could be very handy. Kai, Wambach positioning herself underneath it, punched by McLeod, back in the area, Miller. Asks for a corner, and goal kick is the final decision. You wonder if 1 goal is enough for the U.S. Only allowed 1 goal in that Peace Cup, surprisingly, to the Danes.
And I think that time you could see it on the replay. Abby Wambach sensed the challenge coming in from Erin McLeod. She already took 1 knee to the back on a sequence earlier at the top of the 18. She wasn't about to take a second blow from the Canadian goalkeeper.
Melanie Booth will get up a lot. Looking for a second option. Sinclair blanketed again, but wins it. Back to Booth, near post. Solo punches. Didn't get much distance. Franko controls. Franko throwing some weight around. Falls from Matheson. Panic as the scream bellows out. Booth! Oh, Canada! Don't quit on this group as they continue to buzz around the U.S. goal.
Now this is what Canada did against Jamaica before Sinclair finally put one in the last couple of minutes of half number 1 back on Wednesday, applying the pressure here to the U.S. defense. And you see Hope Solo with the Terry top hand. She flips it over the bar and happy to give away a corner here.
Second for Canada, and a very poor effort.
That will drive coaches nuts. I'm sure Evan Pellerud thinking what exactly was going through Melanie Booth's mind right there.
After that great shot she just had, no less.
I was just going to say, a nice sequence up the left side. She goes over to take the corner. that extra split second players can take to compose themselves, to make sure you don't realize how important it is to just deliver a quality ball. It's a wasted chance that goes for naught there for Canada.
Half an hour behind us, the U.S. 1, Canada 0. The goal early on in the game from Leslie Osborne. Well won in the midfield by Walsh. Looking to turn. And Natasha Kai coming deeper and deeper to get possession. She really has been working all over the pitch.
Nice job checking back to the ball, and I think Natasha Kai sensing that there was going to be some contact coming in from behind from Robin Gayle. Smart move there from the native of Kahuku, Hawaii.
Have you been?
Not to Kahuku.
Pushing his Wambach, knocked out by Hermus. Sinclair turning the corner. Whitehill gets a good angle. And Sinclair will fight another day. Plays it across, Morneau. It's a pretty good cross across the 18-yard plane. Away by Mitz. The meat of the sandwich there in the midfield circle was Lilly. She gets a free kick. Wants a yellow, I think.
I think she had a good claim there. I thought we were going to see our first yellow card of the match. The challenge coming across from the side by Amy Walsh, and clearly Kristine Lilly had a path to go into some open space there. The U.S. captain upended in a sandwich there from two Canadian defenders.
Whitehill gets a lot on that one. Kai was looking for that second header to Wambach. Morneau slips it out on the left. Back in, with no one chasing for the U.S. So McLeod with time.
You get a sense watching the match at this point that the U.S. after the goal, they seem to be in a better rhythm, have kind of fallen off momentum-wise just a bit in the last 10-15 minutes or so. And conversely, the momentum has seemed to swing a bit in favor of Canada. They're having some success going forward and finding some space.
Gayle out of the reach of Matheson. Easy play for Hope Solo, who has seized the goalkeeping duties for the U.S. Just about full strength. Sorry about that, Mark. Just about full strength U.S. team. We mentioned Shannon Box. That's someone that could only help this U.S. team. A touch of class. Otherwise, this is pretty much the squad you'll see in the World Cup.
Another look at the trip there. That results in a free kick. Actually, it was coming from an offside position there was Natasha Kai.
Ball's in the midfield circle. She got some distance before it got to Sinclair. He's got a free kick.
You could see the look on the face of Kristine Sinclair there. She took quite a shot right there from Kate Markgraf. Trying to turn into the space, and the two players get tangled up. Just letting Kristine Sinclair, let her know she's in a match tonight.
Kate, who had a son on July 18th of this year, back in action in October, and now gaining some momentum, her and her 150-plus caps. Again, with Lilly, and Brianna Scurry on the bench, that liaison to the pass. Rampone. Chalutney seen some action as a fullback in the semifinal. Played pretty well, but on the bench today.
Angela Hucles took quite a shot there in the midfield. Slow to get up. We'll get a look at it here on the replay. I think that's more of a dead leg than anything. You could see the knee coming in from Amy Walsh to try and defend, and her knee went right into the thigh. Those are the ones that you might not feel it so much for the rest of tonight's match, but first thing tomorrow morning, that is going to be a tight spot in her leg. Oof.
Dead leg, which is what you should call it, also known as a Charlie horse from some people. Could be debilitating at times. Another miss. The ball just died. They turned the corner, but offside. And Kai.
Another look at it here on the replay, and I don't think it's Natasha Kai that's in the offside position. Looked more as though Abby Wambach was the player that was in the offside position, but she was nowhere near making a run after that ball.
Nice spin by Osborne. Over the top, Wambach with a long way to cover, and the best defender today for Canada, Hermus from McLeod. Canadian women really having the international success for Soccer Canada. The men's team with the talented players unable to be on the same page. Major disappointment in qualifying for 06. U.S. women have to share the limelight with the U.S. men's team that has really come into its own the last 10 years.
Take another look. Osborne trying to change directions here in the midfield.
Memorable day for Leslie. McLeod. Good, strong catch.
In traffic. And McLeod coming out off her line, yelling nice and loud to let everybody know that that's her ball inside the 18-yard box, as it should be. Can't tell you what a great tool it is to have a goalkeeper that's ready to come out off her line and take any ball with backspin inside the 18-yard box. That helps out the back four defenders tremendously. They have that sense of confidence with the last person behind them.
Morneau. The Laval Comets in Quebec. The club that really matches the Whitecaps on this Canadian roster.
If that look from Coach Greg Ryan didn't state intensity, I don't know what will. There's no doubt he wants to make sure that his team adds that third trophy to their case. Off to a good start in the opening 15 minutes, but a little bit of a lull in intensity, I think, over the last 20 minutes, as I said earlier, has allowed Canada to really gain a bit of momentum and back into this one.
They're a confident bunch, Canada, and certainly the level of play here. Certainly we're going at a different speed than in any other game we've seen in this Gold Cup. These two certainly can bring the best out in each other. Solo. And a little shepherding there by Heather Mitz to keep the onrush of Amy Walsh out of the mix.
You know, Max, in the Wednesday game against Jamaica, Brittany Timko was another player that was in the lineup for Canada and not in the lineup here tonight. You wonder if maybe we'll see her as a substitute at some point. She created several chances down the left side for this Canadian women's national team.
Lilly. Rampone, everyone offside, have to hold their runs, but now they can make a push, and look how quickly Kai closes. You got world-class speed with Kai, and then you have the goal-scoring prowess of Wambach. You see, maybe in its infancy, very nice partnership developing, which could take him to Gold Cup glory.
That is exactly what you want up top if you're a coach, is the target and physical strength of Abby, and then you mix in Natasha Kai up there. And then the third component, obviously, is the veteran leadership and the quick first step of Kristine Lilly.
Kept alive by Booth, but back out of play. And it's going to go Canada's way as it took a deflection off of Kristine Lilly. Hermus. No real options. No one could get open. Well defended by the U.S. Wambach. There's an overlap on the left side. It's Mitz. Ball first to Marcy Miller. Shoulder-to-shoulder action. Getting the crowd all razzled. It's certainly not Heather Mitz had that long run, and the running continues. Whitehill, that's a miss hit. Sinclair.
Heather Mitz dodged a bullet there. She thought she could play a ball all the way back for Hope Solo to clear, and actually I believe it was a slight touch by Leslie Osborne to keep it going. And that little touch just threw off the run of Kristine Sinclair. Otherwise, she would have been one-on-one with Hope Solo. As it was, Hope came out and cleared it with her feet.
Morneau slides in, but bangs it off of Hucles.
Our ball! Our ball!
And Pellery, that's about as much animation as we see from him. Off the chair and on the sideline now. Moving into the final 5 minutes of half number one. Morneau. Stretched out. Canada push it over into the midfield circle. Markgraf. Heather Mitz. Good ball for Wambach. Offside.
Well, there's been some questionable judgment calls for the assistant referees throughout the Gold Cup tournament here this week. And tough to tell on that one from our view, but I think we might have gotten it right that time. Nothing like what we saw in the Canada-Jamaica affair back on Wednesday.
I thought we weren't going to bring that up. We saw, well, we won't even mention it. Water under the bridge at this point. One thing you can say, I mean, the flag's gone up, but there were very close decisions at 2 or 3 times.
Here you see Natasha Kai. She's making the diagonal run, trying to stay in that line with the last defender for Canada. And then as soon as she sees that ball played off of the foot of the midfielder, she's attacking the space in front of her.
Hermus. Wilkinson has gotten a free kick. Mitz with the foul. Heather Mitz, so one of several ladies on both sides that have Florida Gator tie-ins. I'm sure they enjoyed themselves on Saturday as the Gators defeated my Florida State Seminoles. But I get the last laugh because the Florida State Lady Noles, led by Celine Kuralai and Mami Yamaguchi and Coach Krikorian, through to the Final Four in women's soccer. We'll play Notre Dame on December the 1st. Ha-ha! Oh, in front. Here's an equalizing chance. It's in the back of the net. It just gets better for Canada. And the smile on Evan Pellerud's face says it all. And Randee Hermus has been doing it all defensively. Now has a goal, a rare goal against the U.S.
Well, the free kick served in, and the U.S. has a little trouble clearing it. You see the short clearance, and there's Randee Hermus. Nice left-footed finish from just about the penalty spot. Hope Solo got a touch to it, nearly parried it over the top of the bar. This will give us our best look at it right here. The clearance was not top-notch, and in fact, Marcy Miller could not head it far enough outside the 18-yard box. Randee Hermus buries it into the back of the net. I tell you what, Max, we've got ourselves a game, but one thing we should point out here is the foul committed by Heather Mitz along the touchline, which led to the free kick opportunity there for Canada. She got tangled up with Rianne Wilkinson moments before. You could see it on the replay that she obstructed the progress of Wilkinson, and that is what led to that free kick, which has led to Canada's equalizer just seconds into stoppage time.
Wow. Randee Hermus has found the back of the net in the past. Not bad for a defender. That's goal number 8. These are Capt number 80. And Canada disappointed with the start. We weren't Didn't even have their feet wet when they were down a goal, but they've held firm. The U.S. made one mistake, and they punished them for it.
And I told you, Randee Hermus, she is a veteran leader back there for this Canadian women's side. She missed out in the World Cup last time around, as I mentioned, but she loves the pressure on her. She loves being one of those last players in the last line of defense that knows that you have to come up with a stop. But she shows you there, she can do it offensively. Nice finish with the left foot to push it past Hope Solo. And looks like they will head into the halftime break level at 1 apiece.
Well, the U.S. were off the boil, as you said. Hit away. And the end of the first half, where game is certainly on. The U.S. were in front in 2 very similar goals. Little mess in front, the goal by Osborne. Little mess in the 18 at the other end, goal by Hermus. They're updating the board as we speak. It's 1-1 in the Gold Cup final. Halftime, the Gold Cup final, and it's living up to what we had hoped for. And a 1-1 tie. USA, Canada. U.S. first with the strike. The answer from Canada. And, you know, we'll look back at what we had earlier today. 3rd place game. A very important game, Mark, because the winner continues their hopes for the World Cup.
Yeah, and Mexico took this one in stride, and they were going good from the get-go early on. Monica Ocampo from the penalty spot after she was taken down inside the area to put Mexico in front 1-0. She was part of that 3-pronged attack. Here's another part of that attack. Maribel Dominguez. Go, goal into the back of the net. The Mexico captain makes it 2-0 there in the first half. Off a nice pass over the top from Iris Mora. One more look at it. Sees the oncoming Paula Jackson, the goalkeeper, way out of position. Nothing to do. And then, still in half number 1, nice little through ball. Ocampo, watch the finish. Top shelf, 3-0. They take that lead into the break. Paula Jackson and her reaction says it all for Jamaica. A tough afternoon for the Reggae girls, thanks in part to Ocampo and Dominguez. And we go to the second half,
where Jamaica defensively not much better. Mexico had a few chances here and there. Dominguez was trying to get her second.
There's the best chance for Jamaica right there.
There it was.
Camilla Parker, second half sub, sailing it over the top. No trouble at all for Sofia Perez. And then one more chance for Dominguez, trying to bend it into the far corner, but it would end 3-0 in favor of Mexico, and by virtue of that win, they will take on the 3rd place team from the Oceania division, if you will. Japan and Mexico go home and home in April to determine who earns that final berth to the Women's World Cup. Other teams that have qualified here, Max?
2 from Africa, Nigeria and Ghana. 2 from South America. Brazil are in. Argentina just about in. They just have to, you know, cross the T's, dot the I's. They'll join Brazil, and Paraguay are hoping for a monumental result, I think, tomorrow to see if they can switch that. 5 from UEFA, and England joins the powerhouse quartet, in particular a trio of Norway, Sweden, and Germany. And we do get one from Oceania there at the end. Likely New Zealand or Solomon Islands or Vanuatu. I don't know. Tahiti, USA, Canada. Here's the heavyweights. 1-1. We'll be back with the highlights. Back here at the Home Depot Center, the site for the 3rd place and final and semifinals on the Women's Gold Cup, which began at Tropical Park in Miami, concludes here tonight. Highlights of the first half. Best half of soccer we've seen. Nice equilibrium. Great start for the U.S.
Good pace here in the first half for the U.S. McLeod caught out of position, and it's Leslie Osborne coming back into the fold with the left-footed volley. She's excited as she puts The U.S. women's national team in front, 1-0. Take another look at it. Abby Wambach providing a nice little dummy there on the doorstep to maybe a bit of a screen there against McLeod. So 1-0 in favor of the U.S. ladies. Canada coming back the other way, looking for the equalizer. That chance off of the left foot of Kristine Sinclair whistles wide. And later, Kristine Lilly with the first chance on the cross. Second chance with the left foot to try and put it in. But there's McLeod. Not exactly sure-handed on that attempt, but she does snag it out of the air. Still more here from Canada. Closing moments. And it's Randee Hermus. She puts it into the back of the net. The equalizer here for Canada just as we came to the end of regulation. Good effort there from Hope Solo, nearly getting a hand to tip it out over the bar. Shots on goal, 4-3 actually in favor of the Canadians. Both keepers recording 2 saves in the corners, also in favor of Canada, 2-1. And no disciplinary action, Max, in the first half from our referee, Virginia Tovar.
A lot to be happy about after 45 minutes, and Canada have the edge as they have the momentum coming out of the first half. Can they retake it in the second? We'll find out. Kickoff is next. Back here in the Home Depot Center, Virginia Tovar, our official, the final of the Gold Cup. Right back into the heat of the action. The U.S. in white going right to left took the lead 6 minutes in. Second international goal from Leslie Osborne. Answered by Canada at the death of the first half. Struck by, well, he has to be the MVP of the game so far, but there's a long way to go. Randee Hermus. 1-1. Looking to win one of these while the U.S. participated. The new Gold Cup, only the 3rd edition currently. Both have been won by the United States.
I think the U.S. needs to find Abby Wambach a bit more in the attack. She was a focal point in the 2-0 win over Mexico back on Wednesday, and we saw her get a couple of services up top into the space from time to time in half number 1, but I think that she has to be a lot more at the center of the attack here for the U.S. if they want to find success and a victory here in half number 2.
The lineups may change at moments in this second half. Right now, neither the coaches want to show their hand too much, and I think happy with the performance overall.
Well, even if Canada does not get that goal right before the break, I think Evan Tellerud would have been happy with the way the ladies turned things around somewhat. They seemed to be undergunned a bit in the first 15-20 minutes of the half when the U.S. was really pounding in some chances. Didn't take advantage of all those chances, though, and as we saw, one shot in the final couple minutes of the half past Hope Solo, and that made it 1-1.
The U.S. pushing forward. They're going to reestablish their advantage. Foul by Isabelle Morneau on Kai.
Another look right there. Morneau coming in, trying to win the challenge, pushing down Natasha Kai from behind. You get the sense Natasha Kai maybe set for a breakout performance here in half number 2, Max.
Impressive here tonight. Got the free kick. Driven ball is going to be problems for McLeod. Trying to get up there was Natasha Kai.
And I thought I was going to be the prophet right there. A great ball in from Kristine Lilly. And you see Natasha making the run. She's onside. All she has to do is flick that one on target.
It's
from
over.
Close range like that, I don't think there's a chance Erin McLeod will get a touch on it. Those are the toughest balls for goalkeepers to handle, is a low-driven ball, whether it's from the corner or from out in front of goal. Forces the goalkeeper into a split-second decision whether or not he or she wants to come out and see if they can get their gloves to the service or stay at home on the line and play reaction.
Really, with 116 international goals, and who knows how many assists, that would have been another one there. A lot of power behind it. Another free kick here for the U.S. as they're able to push into the Canadian half. It's not that often they concede a goal in these kind of competitions, so that may be dancing in their head. They know this Canadian team is a tremendous opponent and capable of beating them if the stars all align. Maybe it's one of those nights. Breaking up the other end, taking a little too long. Developing that was Osborne. Breaking ahead now is Wilkinson. And Sinclair has to be a little frustrated. She just can't get any service.
And you can see the numbers there, why she can't get the service.
Wambach's got the inside lane here. A bit premature with the cross, but it gets all the way to the other end. Kept alive. Kai diving.
A little more momentum swinging in favor of the U.S. Natasha Kai, diving header there at the near post. Didn't quite put it on target, but a heck of an effort. In moments before that, Abby with a nice shoulder challenge to win the ball. She played it in early. I think she knew she had plenty of space and real estate to run onto on her own. Didn't really have to force the hand that quickly. But a good start here in half number 2 for the ladies.
Again, the U.S. 25-0-5 under Greg Ryan since he took over at the 05 Algarve Cup. Ryan with a lot of experience in the Division I women's ranks. Served with April Heinrichs, of course, before that too. Maybe that 0 in that record line is in peril.
And I'm sure Greg Ryan is looking forward to this challenge here for his side here in the second half to see how they respond to giving up that goal just before the halftime break.
In by Gayle. Wambach. And the header mix. In a bit of a bind there, but has the outlet in Markgraf. Canada really flying in on those challenges. Ball played across for Matheson. Rampone.
I mentioned rhythm, Max, early in the first half, and I thought that was going to be a key for the U.S.
Kai keeps it in front of her, 1 against 3. Just couldn't come up with it clean. And that may be more frustration than pain. She's had 3 looks at goal in the second half.
Either that or I think she took actually a finger poke to the eye. We'll see a look on the replay right here. Footwork looks fine. I think as she went down there, she might have taken a poke. We'll see it right.
Maybe hit on the cheek.
And a hard challenge coming in there from the Canadian defense.
A chance for everyone to get a breather here as Kristine Lilly checks on her teammate, making sure it's nothing too serious. And hopefully it isn't, because she is really enjoying a nice evening without scoring a goal. That could change.
And I would expect if she's not able to continue, I would think it might be Heather O'Reilly who would come on to partner up top with Abby. We saw O'Reilly come on late in the game against Mexico on Wednesday.
Back to action, Gayle. Walsh gets into the corner for the miss. Markgraf unable to clear it again. Here's Sinclair bearing down. Great clear by Capt Whitehill.
Referee, go ahead, Tosh, go ahead. Okay, Lil, we're 3.
And Natasha Kai waved back on by our referee.
Wilkinson. Hemmed out by Mitz. Markgraf. There's something to be said right now in the tenacity of the Canadians. Again, winning those headers. Slips up from Matheson. Back and forth we go, Osborne. Lovely touch. And it's Wambach buying time. And now Lilly's cross deflected. Wambach still gets a look. And away comes Amy Walsh, the Montreal native. Mitts. Robin Gayle.
So far, the U.S. side has done a good job touching the ball around and finding open space to play it into. But I think they need to not be shy to go away from a couple of one-on-one chances. Take a player on or two. That last opportunity, Kristine Lilly had the ball with some clear-cut space going forward. She served it in, although the service never made it to the back post. But I think she's one of those players, along with Abby Wambach, they can take players on. Go ahead and go 1v1 with one of the Canadian defenders. Force someone to come over and help out in the defending process, and in turn, you'll free up some other players. And here's the player I mentioned in the first half, Brittany Timko. She did a good job on the left side, and she'll replace Isabelle Morneau.
This is a defender coming out and an attacker coming in, so maybe Evan Pellerud taking a gamble here. Morneau was pretty valuable as a defender, clearing a lot of danger. And Brittany Timko, who has been capped several times for the Canadians, still looking for that first international goal. What a time to pick it up, and you get the feeling she is capable. This is her 58th appearance. She's just 20, though. It's quite a workload in the women's game internationally. I mean, you're looking at a couple games a month. We did the math. It basically ends up to about 24, 25 games a year.
Well, and in essence, for example, for the U.S. women's side, really their national team is their club team. The majority of them don't play for a club team for 8 months out of the year and then just come in for national team training camp. They spend 6-7 months all together as a team.
Back of the 18, still there for Canada. Sinclair with the sniff. Away by the U.S. And the U.S. know they're in a fight now. Not only have the Canadians pulled level at the end of the half, but they're pushing, looking to go ahead.
Bodies flying everywhere, Max. Martina Franko at the backside, and the recently substituted Timko also in on the flurry there. We'll take another look. Here's Timko. She's got a nice left foot. Tried to drive that one in, but some great defending there from Christy Rampone.
Martina Franko getting in there late, born in Cincinnati, Ohio, which is also the same hometown of Heather Mitts. Franko now residing in Squamish, British Columbia. Still waiting for those couple Canadian internationals from the Midlands of Canada, the Saskatchewans, the Manitobas.
I believe that's hockey country up in there.
Yeah, we only have too many soccer pitches that aren't covered in snow and sleet. There's Wilkinson's up the right side. As we mentioned in the semi-final stage, a lot of only Wagner about to come in. A lot of Quebec-based, a lot of Ontario-based, and British Columbia-based players. And Angela Hucles, who on her best days is one of the key performers for the U.S. Maybe not 100% Ali Wagner. Comes in wearing the all-important number 10, which is always a sign that you can deliver the goods.
Yeah, Ali Wagner can definitely deliver the goods. I think she'll bring a bit of a calming presence to the midfield for the U.S. Slows things down a bit. Really possession-based player.
In front, Solo down to get it.
So look for Ali Wagner to try and get the ball in the middle of the park, take her time, quick touches, playing it down into the channels, allow Natasha Kai, Abby Wambach to get themselves forward into space where they can cause havoc for the Canadian defense.
U.S. need to tilt the scales here. In the right side. Rampone taking a chance or two. They like to get those fullbacks up. Didn't stay at home for the most part. And blame the Canadians for that. The U.S. not with a typical performance in the semis against Mexico, only winning 2-0. They're only up a goal well into the second half. So this has been a challenge, more so than it ever has been in the past. Over the top goes Osborne. In the corner, nice turn. Free kick coming. And Wambach, who's better off as a target player, but you got to take what you can get.
Well, we've talked about her size many times up top as a target player, Max, and you can see right here, she's got some great skill as well. Actually, just before that part on the replay, she did a nice cutback move against the touchline to create her own little space, and then upended, and now the free kick chance.
Lilly hits it well, a little too well. Not sure if that was the intention to go on goal. So changes on both sides now for the final push. If it is the final push, still 1-1. And if we are there after 90 minutes, extra time. And then penalties. Hit in by Wilkinson off of Miller.
Inside of her, Mitzi.
Both coaches really getting the dialogue in now. Reaching over is Osborne. As you can see, it just past the hour mark.
I think with Ali Wagner coming into the game, Leslie Osborne will shift her position back a little bit more defensively, that holding center midfielder, to allow Wagner to go forward.
Not the touch there. And Wambach was hoping for it, just sailed away on her. And there is Randee Hermus again.
I think important now, though, for the U.S. women's side to keep Canada in their own half. Press all numbers forward, bring the back line of the defense up to the midfield stripe, try and keep the pressure on Canada in their own half now.
Well, Canada, 4th place at the 2000 Women's World Cup of 03. Showing they're getting better. 3 years and soon to be 4 years later. Sinclair brushes off the midfield challenge. Wilkinson hits across, got a chance. Timko. Wilkinson away by Whitehill. You think about it, back on side, volley attempt. Didn't have the footing underneath her, did Timko. It'll be a U.S. goal kick.
Tough chance there, Max, for Brittany Timko to try and hit that ball in stride as it comes over across her body. You watch the ball come all the way across. Coordination at its highest level right there for her to even get a strike on that ball. Tough to shape your body in the right position and make sure you get solid contact. I'm not sure it was the best ball in the first place. A little direct flick over the top.
Don't want to jinx anything, but it's been a very nicely played game. We still don't have any yellow cards, very few stoppages. No argy-bargy, as they would say. I think it's arguing and carrying on. Yeah. Gonna ask one of our legion of British announcers here at the Fox Soccer Channel these days.
Argy-bargy.
Oh, nice touch. Lilly across to the far post. Hermus. Point, counterpoint. Chapman.
But you know, Max, that's a little bit of what I'm talking about. Take a player on one-on-one. Kristine Lilly cutting the corner against the Canadian defense there. She put herself in a dangerous position, and you could sense the crowd around the field that she was in a spot where she was about to make something happen. I think they need to find a little bit more of that going forward, the U.S. women's side, and they'll create their chances. The chances will come out of these types of plays.
It was great action on finals football. Lilly looking to get up that left side again. A tremendous crosser. Kai got McLeod on a bike for a moment, but no harm.
Greg Ryan will be a bit disappointed with that effort. I don't think she just wanted to have a whack at once, and she let it fly from about 35 yards out, hoping somebody might be making that back post run, but Natasha Kai knows that probably in that instance she needs to maintain possession for her side and work for a clear-cut chance to really try and fire one in. We have not seen Erin McLeod really tested here so far in half number 2.
Let's have them flow, Canada, with a couple minutes of attacking. And now the U.S. enjoying a nice spell. Miller. Bring it backwards. Markgraf. Could be a costly mistake there. Slipping through is Walsh, shut down by Miller. Looks to go over the top for Kai. Up and over Osborne. Kai, she's isolated here, looking for help. Lilly. Wagner. Lilly, oh. Didn't have her balance, or his hips really bent around there.
Yeah, I think you said it correctly, Max. Her balance was a bit off there. But that's the way you're going to beat the offside trap of Canada right now, is quick 1-2, send the ball into space.
Well, she's disappointed because she knew that was the setup. A sharp ball by Wagner and Wambach in the 6 with a step.
Well, that's exactly how the second goal came about against Mexico on Wednesday.
And that's the recipe, certainly, for success for Greg Ryan. Lilly on the flank, Wambach in the middle, and they've had troubles here tonight getting it just right. You see Wambach on the flanks. Canada turns. Matheson. Timko. And turns it on around Osborne. Rampone there, and it stops. Here's Whitehill parted. Looked like that right back with the pace.
Well, you can see that Brittany Timko wants to use her pace to get down that left side. In fact, on that occasion, taking on 2 U.S. players.
Into the small of the back. That one stung for Wambach, who this week has had to pick herself off the Home Depot pitch on several occasions. It's just the latest.
I was just thinking, I don't think there's a player that takes more abuse out there. Credit to Abby, though. She continually picks herself up off the turf and continues on and has yet to shy away from any challenge.
Still full steam ahead for Natasha Kai. And she looks like she has plenty left in the tank. The big throw of Cat Whitehill coming up. And a bit of an angle. Wambach pushed it out. Miller, Osborne. Pretty good start since coming off the bench for Timko. Reverses it to Gayle. Lady just 20 years of age, it slips through.
Well, the U.S. doing just fine defending right now, because so far in the attack for Canada, they've really only sent Sinclair and Wilkinson forward 2 against 4, 2 against 5 in the early going part of half number 2. Those are the types of numbers that Coach Greg Ryan can deal with that.
Great run, just disrupted at the end. Back again, offside. Abby Wambach with the step. We'll see how close, we said how close everything else has been. This is onside.
Clearly onside, as Gayle kept her on the right back. And oof. Fans, a reminder, FA Cup, second round action. Kings Lynn and Oldham Athletic. 3 p.m. Eastern Time, live on Fox Soccer Channel. That's Friday, the 1st of December. I know you'll be tuning in, Max, for the FA Cup second round and all the rounds of the FA Cup here on Fox Soccer Channel.
Maybe your last chance to see Kings Lynn on the airwaves, so enjoy it while it's here. Came prepared, huh? A little good luck charm in the booth. Moving towards the 70th minute. Seemingly a goal will get the job done for one of these teams at this point. Matheson had plenty of company there. Big driven ball by Solo, and it's to Wambach. Kai. A little impatient.
Yeah, a bit of inexperience there from Natasha Kai. Great job by Abby Wambach to rise up to win that ball, to get it to the feet of Natasha Kai. And then you could see Abby making the run back through the channel, right up through the center of the 18-yard box. All Natasha had to do was feed it through into her on the ground.
Pressure on both defenses. No one can make that mistake. One mistake could be fatal. Walsh. Timko. And again from Osborne.
This is better. Short little crisp touches now. Get the rhythm of the game going here. Keep the ball moving around the pitch.
Oof. Moon ball from Whitehill, and it falls to Wilkinson. Sinclair, a very rare touch for her. She becomes an even bigger problem for the U.S. because if she gets some service now, Canada could be Gold Cup winners. Heather Mitz goes for a ride, and this will be the first yellow card. Heather takes it very well with that big grin, huh?
Well, I'm not so sure that Heather was going to get to that ball initially herself, but I think it's the tackle from behind by Wilkinson that further allows her not to even have a chance to play the ball. And clearly that's a dangerous play on Wilkinson, and so she is the first name in the little black book of our referee, Virginia Tovar.
Deep free kick. Osborne. Booth looked like a third striker the first half. She is good old-fashioned left back right now. Here is Melanie Booth, who scored in the semifinal. And that 4-0 victory against Jamaica.
And Max, I think the crowd, as well as I get the sense that the further time goes on and this one stays deadlocked at 1 apiece, I think the pressure really goes more on the shoulders of the U.S. women's side. The fact that they're probably a team that is supposed to win these types of games.
Wagner, this flag stays down. Through the legs of Lilly. Too much company. Knocked away. Mitz. Left it short into the handball.
Very close.
I mean, that was one I bit my lip when I saw it. You'd hate it to be decided by that, but the rules are the rules. Markgraf. Flags down here. Flying up the left. Good defense by the very active Robin Gayle.
She has been a standout back there defensively. There we get a look at it, and I think they got the call right. That's the left shoulder. I'm okay with that.
Corner kick. Wagner wants it. All up. It's not cleared yet. U.S. second bite of the cherry, maybe a third. Still not cleared. Everyone draws back. Wagner picks out a target. Save McLeod. Denying Mercy Miller. The U.S. want to kick it into fourth gear now. Over the top, Lilly. Still there. Canada. No panic, and that was the key in that situation. Matheson sends it upfield. Solo. A little confusion for a second. No harm done.
Well, Max, I said it earlier that Erin McLeod had not really been tested in the second half. I tell you what, the first big test of the half, and she came up huge.
Wagner with a quarter of an hour left in this one.
Let's go back and take another look. Osborne trying to keep it alive. It bangs off of Marcy Miller. And then watch the composure here by Ali Wagner. One touch into the space, chipping it into the area. Great snap header there from Marcy Miller. But an even bigger save from Erin McLeod to deny that chance. And then in comes Matheson to clean it up defensively.
A real fight for regional supremacy. Kai. Out wide. Oh, she's turned the defense inside out. Lurking back. What a brave effort from Kristine Lilly, sacrificing her body. When you're putting your head level with the ground like that, you're putting it in the danger zone.
We saw the flash of brilliance there from Natasha Kai in terms of footwork. Great ball she delivers to the top of the 6-yard box. Just a slight bit, though, behind Kristine Lilly. There's the great move right there. Nice bit of footwork from Natasha.
That was against Hermus. It's been tough to beat. And the tension thickens. The U.S. in the midst of a very nice spell. They want to make this permanent from here on in. And get another free kick.
Well, so far here in the second half off these free kick chances, we've seen the U.S. just deliver a direct ball up top. I think it'll be the same here from Whitehill.
McLeod. Oh, she's feeling confident.
And I think that's why you don't deliver a direct ball, is it's an up for grabs, 50-50 chance that you're going to really get much out of it. The U.S. has shown nice attacking sequences going forward when they keep the ball on the turf.
That grab by McLeod, certainly a sign of a goalkeeper, and maybe tough to beat from this point forward. Kai off the header, trying to maneuver around the last defender as the goalkeeper McLeod stayed on her line.
And that was a great bit of skill from Natasha Kai. It is not easy on the run to head the ball into your path. It's almost trapping the ball by heading. Nearly got on the end of her own head ball.
Natasha Kai has been very impressive. As you hear, Evan Pellerud campaigned for a yellow, and he might be right here. And it certainly looks like it fills the criteria of yellow card. Going on Abby Wambach. First, Vin Blaine, now Evan Pellerud. The dress code is in.
That's right.
And Greg Ryan, no tie, but you know,
the leather jacket.
The leather jacket. It's a step up from the tracksuit. Melanie Booth. First header. Still there for Canada. Now the U.S. break forward. Wambach back to goal. Flat ball, Wagner. Kai. She's going to get there. Hits it to McLeod. He's brailed it again. To the end line, Wagner, corner kick. Natasha Kai, impressive still, but needs to put one of these away.
Well-timed run, and I don't think she knew she had a bit more time. Didn't really have to take it first time there. Trying to slip it past Erin McLeod, who came up twice with the save on Natasha Kai to keep this one level at 1.
A blazer is Natasha Kai. I was going to say just one substitution for both teams. Canada gets to their bench again. Andrea Neal in for Candace Chapman.
Both defensive-minded players as Wagner delivers the corner.
Hit it well. And a bit short, the turn, play on, says Virginia Tovar. Can't argue with that no call, and the U.S. aren't arguing it either. And too hot to handle there for Wilkinson. Pressure from Rampone. As we now closing in on the 80th minute. Osborne as the pressure pushes out the U.S. Back in again, Wagner, corner.
The U.S. does a nice job of using good movement off the ball to find space. There you can see the ball came back out wide to Heather Mitts. First time she can play it in for Allie Wagner, who's making the run inside, and now it equates to a corner chance here for the U.S. Can they make something of it? They seem to be knocking on the door, but they would love to swing it open here.
Been hard work. Wagner near post side netting, goal kick. Wagner. Sinclair, rare chance facing goal. Nicely done on that far side. And the U.S. able to build from the back. Conducting the way, Lilly to Wambach. Wagner showed a little too much to Amy Walsh. Wants the lead. Sinclair is in behind the defense. Look at this. Like a injured wildebeest surrounded by a pack of lions. There's 1-on-6 there. Where's the help? Neal.
And even though Christy Sinclair couldn't do anything with it herself, she kept it alive possession-wise here for Canada.
Oops, Sinclair again. Building up a lather as it's been hard work. Great action throughout. So many chances. The U.S. looked like they'd be the team to score in these 90 minutes. The action happening in the Canadian defensive end, as it is right now. Kai there. McLeod may have made a mistake that could cost her, but her defense helps her out. Back in again. Franko just in front of Wambach. Osborne, Wambach. Booth, very good cross. And Booth planned out perfectly.
Just one touch, one pass away right now for the U.S. Get another look here on the replay.
There's Canadian goal scorer Randee Hermus. go. Canada doing some good trapping. Ah, the whistle. The very pesky Diana Matheson, who's gotten under a couple of the U.S. midfielders' skins.
Max, at this point, we can start to see fatigue setting in a bit in the midfield, particularly on that last run forward for Natasha Kai. She's a little bit slow. We saw a bit more spring in her step in the early going. You wonder if maybe both coaches are considering making another change here. Greg Ryan still with 2 changes in his back pocket.
Robin Gayle made that nice run, but couldn't get the cross in. Wilkinson keeping Sinclair company. Away by Markgraf. Matheson. There's a chance for Canada. They have numbers in attack finally. And that won't last much longer as Wambach gets possession going the other way via the free kick.
Wambach knew the challenge was coming from behind, uses her body here to shield off that challenge coming in from Martina Franko.
Heading into the final 5 of this final. And Evan Pellerud, not getting a warning, asked to leave.
Well, I tell you what, that might have an effect, Max, on the Canadian women's side. A red card shown to Evan Pellerud, and apparently he said a little too much to the 4th official, either that or to our referee, Virginia Tovar.
It's got our first yellow of the game. Now we have a red, which not for the players.
You can't really underestimate, obviously, the leader and the tactician. He brings about who goes where for this Canadian women's side, and now that the voice of the team really from the touchline is not going to be there, especially when you consider if these teams are tied for another 5 or 6 minutes, they're headed to overtime and they will be without his guidance for that time.
Look forward, and he could see first time this week he's getting vocal. Chase from Kai, she still has the pace to complicate things for Canada. I don't know if she'll get another look like she did on that breakaway. Saved by McLeod.
Going back to the red card there for Evan Pellerud, the Canadian coach. I think credit to Virginia Tovar. She said enough was enough. She's done a great job keeping this one under control here.
Back. Not a very happy looking man. Biting that lip to not make things any worse. Melanie Booth. So much at stake at this point. Both are safely through to the World Cup. That was job number 1.
Will there be some late game heroics as Evan Pellerud makes his way back to the locker room here at the Home Depot Center?
Chilly evening.
For him, it just got a bit more chilly. Kind of odd, don't you think, Max, in the sense that no warning, no yellow card there, straight red from our official.
We missed something there. Sinclair. Wilkinson closing. Nice clearance. Whitehill. Timko. Kai back to help the defense. And getting a positive light there, too. I don't think there's anything that makes a coach happier than seeing a striker one end and coming at the other end. Closing the lanes. Just a few minutes here left. And Kai, I think, ran out of steam. There was a long way to go. Looks like we're getting some extra action It's going to be a free kick for the U.S. So hold everything. Now's a great time to score. Not really leaving your opponent much time to respond.
Kristine Lilly getting in behind and then tripped up by Melanie Booth. And that sets up, in essence, what will be played as a short corner here by both sides.
Wagner and Lilly.
Watch for the ball out at the top of the box, too, after the rebound.
Crowded, it's Wagner. McLeod off the line, and there is the second clearance. Slightly out of control there. Fast and furious. Throw in U.S.
They are not holding back on the challenges there, right in front of the benches.
Into the corner for Robin Gayle. Hermus. Stoppage time has arrived. Timko. No hit. Sinclair to win it.
I think Kristine Sinclair thought she had it as well. We saw her score a goal with a collection like this using the chest against Jamaica coming across. It's actually put into stride for her by the U.S. defense. You see Hulk Solo out at the edge of the 6-yard box, cutting down that angle, anticipating the shot from Sinclair, but it's just outside the near post.
She's waited 90 minutes for that.
She's one of those players. You give her one clear-cut chance in the closing moments of the match, she's likely to make you pay. And I think Greg Ryan has to be thinking he dodged a bullet there. Evan Pelleroux cannot take his eyes off of this one, as you might imagine.
And he really, and I'm sure the Canadian ladies really wish that he was there now, as they're facing an additional 30 minutes, which they'd hate for this opportunity to slip away. And they need every advantage they can get, and not having the coach on the sideline will be a problem. Throw in USA. Second minute of stoppage time. This may be Whitehill country with the throw in that final third.
They'll look for Abby Wambach on the near post to try and flick it in.
Answered again. Neal. Throw in Canada. Go the other way. And they found the dry patch, I'm afraid. Deflected towards the midfield. Swing and miss. Wagner. Where the Wambacher Kai had positioned themselves in the area. There's Kai. Back out again. Desperate defending. It's paying off in a big way. A chip ahead by Matheson. And now Wilkinson. Nice block by Heather Mitz.
Credit to both sides, Max. They have just continued to fight it out. What a second half. No goals, but plenty of dramatics here in half number 2. And it looks like we're set for some free soccer here. A couple of extra 15-minute periods coming up.
Gayle, Wilkinson. Actually went underneath it as we're in the 4th minute of stoppage time. And the U.S. will perhaps be left defending. Same over again. Walsh. Pushed out wide by Rampone. And the U.S. will relieve that pressure.
Maybe time for one last attacking option here going forward for the U.S. Down to about the final 14 seconds.
Remarkably, no goals in the second half, but boy, have we had chance after chance. The best one maybe from Sinclair at the end. Could not convert. Timko cuts it back. The cross, no one home. And as you said, free soccer at hand. Extra time for the Gold Cup trophy in a fantastic matchup here with Federation supremacy on the line. The full-time score. Canada and the United States knotted at 1. Extra time is next. Extra time at hand in the Women's Gold Cup final. The blankets are out. Yes, it's a chilly one here in Carson. The gloves are on.
Cool conditions here in Carson, California, and it looks like Carly Lloyd, who played a part in the 2-0 win over Mexico back on Wednesday, could be an insertion here by U.S. coach Greg Ryan.
She is ready to come in. And a tremendous game for the Gold Cup here. Canada closing the gap yet again on the Americans in the women's game.
Well, Max, you know that the U.S. women's side thinks they should have taken the results in regulation. A furious second half, really putting a lot of attacking sequences going forward, including the snap header at the top of the 6-yard box by Marcy Miller. That was probably really the turning point of half number 2, was the big-time save there from Erin McLeod, the Canadian goalkeeper, denying Miller from literally point-blank range to keep that one even at 1 apiece. Fans having a good time here at the HDC, I would say.
Nice signage as well. As these ladies actually look unfazed by fatigue. They are ready to go. Another 30 minutes and another 30 after that if necessary. I don't think the fans are complaining either about a little extra action because it was a pulsating affair. And the U.S. had their chances to win it, as did the Canadians. A great chance for Kristine Sinclair, who finally got the look, only to miss it by a foot. In good spirits, great rivalry.
Well, I think the U.S. needs to continue with the same theme as they left off with in the end of regulation. They created plenty of chances attacking forward. Most of those chances coming when they did put the ball out wide, forcing the Canadian defense to kind of spread out a bit at the back. But you got to credit that person there, Erin McLeod. Stellar job in the match here.
Erin McLeod, the new lady between the posts for Canada. She's 23 years of age. We'll be hearing more from her. She's hoping to add this as a very important chapter for her career. Big save after big save. The biggest on the breakaway by Natasha Kai. Carly Lloyd comes into the game. And this will be the second substitution as Wagner came in earlier.
And there is the U.S. goalkeeper, Hope Solo. She's done a stellar job back between the pipes for the United States here this evening as well. The one time they were able to breach her goal, the nice finish there from Randee Hermus, but on that occasion even, Hope Solo got a touch on the ball and nearly flicked it over the top bar.
First extra time session begins. No golden goal, so whoever scores the opponent will have a chance to respond. beauty of this game and the way it's developed throughout. It didn't seem like one team is trying to stretch this out for penalties. They were both eager to score, and they had their share of chances. More so for the United States. They had about a 20-minute spell there where miraculously on the Canadians' behalf, nothing got through.
As I said at the time, it seemed to be that final pass, that final step in behind the defense that the U.S. was lacking. Creating the chances did not seem to be the problem, but trying to finish them off was where the obstacle came in. And there's the official word. Leslie Osborne out and replaced by Carly Lloyd. Carly, the native of Delran, New Jersey, and spent her college years at Rutgers.
Hoping to get the bronze statuette next to Alexi Lallis's one up there. There should be one. Matheson. Kate Markgraf is out. Stephanie Lopez is in. So substitutions 2 and 3.
And you know, Max, if my math is correct, I believe every player on the U.S. roster, with the exception of Brianna Scurry and Tina Frimpong, has seen action with Stephanie Lopez coming into the game. As well as Denise Adams. Thank you for pointing that out.
I didn't point it out. What? See, if I pointed out, I was silent so that you could bail yourself out. And it made me look good. Oh, a looping ball in, but wide. The height was perfect by Carly Lloyd.
Boy, would that have been an entrance there for Carly Lloyd if she was able to chip this one in from about 40 yards out, trying to catch Erin McLeod off her line, maybe cheating just a bit. As you see, she lifts up the chin and catches McLeod a couple of steps out off of her line. Just trying to keep her honest. We'll see if that plays into something later on in the match, as Hope Solo will just thump this one back out toward midfield.
Haven't heard much from number 20. As we mentioned about Kristine Sinclair, the chance pops up for Abby, and the U.S. are bound for glory.
Tell you what, though, Max, you and I talked a little bit about whether Abby was up to full fitness to maintain her physical fitness to still be in this one, and I guess Greg Ryan has answered that question for us. He's not about to take his number 20 out.
She gets a corner kick, and this is the 11 that's going to finish things. Just one yellow card. That was to Rian Wilkinson midway through the second half. One red card, but it was to manager Evan Pelleru. Whitehill is up. Wagner back of the 6, and it was Kai. And you know, you could strikers stay up late and they think about that missed opportunity. She's gonna be sleepless.
That one chance midway through half number 2 where she slipped through in behind the Canadian defense and was one-on-one with that lady there, Erin McLeod. But she could not finish the chance twice, actually. The first shot stopped by McLeod came right back to the feet of Natasha Kai, and the second chance, the result was the same.
What a good clearance. You don't want to play it across like that. U.S. go out wide. Here's Wambach. No penalty. Hint of a leg sweep.
I'll tell you, Max, the reason she doesn't get the call there is because she's looking for it. If she continues in the run of play there, tries to really hold up position here, watch the flop right there, and you're not going to get the call, especially when we're in extra time.
Dear Abby. There was contact in that little swing. She's done it a couple times. A little luster off her game.
It was Martina Franko coming in from the side to try and defend there for Canada, but if Abby gives full effort to try and hold up that challenge, and then maybe she goes down because of the force of the challenge from Franko, then we might have heard the whistle, but I think she was looking for it, and our referee, Virginia Tovar, knew it.
Well officiated game.
I think everyone would agree with you, but Evan Pelleru.
He was angry. He got worse. Cleared by Aaron McLeod, who may have to shoulder more of the burden if it goes to penalties. The U.S. have so much pain and agony on the Canadian shoulders, even in close calls like this. Canadians are oh so close here that hate to see this chance slip away. As Natasha Kai's down.
And the second time in the game here tonight we've seen her go down. That time it looked like she was stretching out to try and get a touch on the ball right outside the top of the 18-yard box. We'll see it right there. And it was the follow-through on the clearance from Robin Gayle that actually hit her on the right leg.
And that's not a foul. Hit in the midsection. Mitts. U.S. to defend now. Gayle. Sinclair. I'm going to shake the defense here. Immediate cross from Gayle. Closing in is Neal.
That's us. That's right.
Taken by Canada. Timko. The squeeze play and out by Whitehill.
Here we go, Wade. Here we go.
Is the streak going to end?
Here we go.
You could hear Greg Ryan calling for early balls there. He wants his back four, the defenders, as soon as they get possession, let's try and quickly move out from the back, play the ball laterally out towards the touchlines, and then see if they can spring players like Natasha Kai and Abby Wambach going forward quickly. The key to it is who we just saw in the picture, number 10, Ali Wagner. She came on as a substitute in the second half. She has to be feeling pretty fresh still out there. And I said it when she came in. She's the type of player that can hold it in the midfield and find the attacking runs overlapping.
Ball up ahead for Canada, who are hitting a nice vein of form right now. Whitehill. Into the corner. Lilly. Wagner keeps her feet. Nice touches here by the United States. Look at that last final one. Knocked out by Hermus. Neither team wants to flinch, nor can they afford to, as the flag is up on Abby Wambach, and this has caused a clamor in the crowd. It better be right.
Well, it looked from our point of view that Abby started her run from in behind where the defender was, and you can see to the right side of your screen. Very tough to tell from that angle, but Abby, of course, will protest the call.
Well, you know, it seemed like it probably was offside. Maybe we got to look closer, and I've been saying this for years. Maybe loosen up some of the way it's called. If you take it away, the chance of more attacking soccer, which is a lot of times what's lacking in the game today.
Defenders will be calling for your head if they give the forwards any more room.
Those
Max.
are good. Crushed is Carly Lloyd, pardon me. Well offline.
Well, we've seen it in the English Premier League really a lot this season with players like Thierry Henry, where strikers will sit back behind the back four, and when they have the chance, they will step into the run of play and get themselves onside to feel a through ball, making a diagonal run. I think that's what Abby's trying to play here. She's trying to play a little bit coy, sit back behind the last person of defense for Canada, and then when the opportunity presents itself, dart into a dangerous spot where she can receive the ball.
Matheson's ball, too long for Wilkinson. keeps her balance there. Swung out wide. Lopez with momentum, looking for Wambach. Kept out of there by Franko. Whitehill. Onside, but out of the reach of Kristine Lilly.
And really, right now, defensively, the U.S. has to be quite content because there's nothing going forward right now. There's Heather Mitz. She's the left back right now, and she's standing in Canada's half. Canada seems maybe physically, they might be running out of some gas just a little sooner than the U.S.
Well, someone's going to be utterly disappointed at the end. Neither team deserving to lose it, but one will. Both are still eager to do it before the penalties. Miller. Here comes probably Lloyd. Rampone heads it away. A little look away by Miller, but in the nick of time finds Stephanie Lopez. Cat Whitehill. For that one play to turn the ball to Abby Wambach on the right side. Gets the ball from Lilly. Bounces off of the defense by Booth. Got a free kick. And a yellow for Hermus. Second yellow of the game, both for Canada.
You sense the defense for Canada. They might have a little bit of a call there.
Wait.
You can see Abby. She knows the pressure is coming from behind, and that is a foul.
Well,
no doubt Abby could have stayed on her feet if she wanted to, but now she's going to create a dangerous set-piece chance here for the United States.
So the yellow to Hermus, but Booth was the one who challenged. See, they clear it up afterwards. Ball hits the wall. Wagner. And a couple U.S. players hovering offside, and that they have to look at themselves there. A couple players would not get back to an onside position. I know they've got to be tired at this point, but there you see it.
Well, to begin with, the United States has to be disappointed with the chance off the free kick. Kristine Lilly really did not make much of that at all, serving it with her left foot right into the Canadian wall. And on the second effort, Ali Wagner tried a little chip to get it into the backside, but like you said, Max, several of the U.S. players did not make an effort to get themselves back onside.
And it is Booth who got the yellow. I'm not sure if it's Hermus for maybe arguing afterwards, but it's for the tackle. Heading towards the end of this first extra time session. Two World Cup bound teams looking to wrap 2006 with a trophy. Kai, Wagner. Lloyd back into the middle channel. Hits it. Not nearly hard enough.
That's easy pickings there for Aaron McLeod. Right idea, though. You could see the sequence developing there for the U.S. Touching it toward the center of the field. The right move there from Carly Lloyd. Steps inside on her right foot. But a bit premature with the shot.
Timko. Telegraphed it. Lloyd. Her first legs have provided a mighty spark. In again, the shot! I've been highly impressed with Natasha Kai. It's a real star on the horizon, but she's going to learn from this day, but only one.
Well, the further and further along she got, really the worse the angle gets, and tough when you're bending it with the left foot. Of course, it's bending from left to right, away from goal. But as you said, Max, she'll learn from this experience to continue on with that chance there.
Kai, who's got a great first touch almost every time she's hit it into her own path. That should wrap up the first extra time session. Maybe one last gasp opportunity for Canada and Kristine Sinclair. Matheson. Knocked out by Lloyd, who was a superstar in that first extra time session, doing a little bit of everything. Of course, minus the goal, as we'll stay right here. 105 minutes in the books. USA won, Canada won.
And the U.S., as they did in the latter stages of half number 2, before we came to the end of the first 90 minutes, they did it again here in the opening 15 minutes of extra time. They've seemed to be the dominant side, creating the chances going forward. They just need to figure out exactly what they want to do when they get into that final offensive third. You know, there's some tired legs out there right now, Max. They will deserve a day off tomorrow, no doubt. Everyone contributing here tonight. And there it is, 1-1 right now. If you're just joining us, we can go all the way back to the first half action when it was that lady there. Left side of your screen, I think we saw her for a moment, Leslie Osborne with the goal. And coming back just before the end of half number 1, it was Randee Hermus tying things. And that is where we stand now. It has been scoreless soccer ever since.
Just short of 8 o'clock local time in Carson, which has been home for all 4 of these national teams that have participated in the semifinals of the Gold Cup.
Great atmosphere here tonight at the Home Depot Center for the final, as you would expect. And they're not done yet. Tell you what, she's earned her money here tonight too. Virginia Tovar, our head referee.
She had a very good game. Back on the way for the second extra time session. USA with possession. Through the legs. Wambach turns the corner. Still going. Couldn't get the dump off at the end to Lilly.
Well, I think Abby, heeding my advice I said earlier on in the match, go ahead and take some players on. Abby goes to the tune of 3 players here she runs past in the Canadian defense, and you see what she wanted to do right there. She had Kristine Lilly running to the top of the 6-yard box, waiting for that service.
Not empty-handed. They do get the corner kick. Wagner hits a beauty. And they'll go at it again. And it's Wagner again. This time a little bit too short. The USA will retain possession after an explosive opening minute in the second extra time session. They were an inch away from at least another shot. Kai gets it underneath. Splits them. Still there. Play on. Wambach, but goes down. And how many times have we seen that look on several ladies' faces?
I just wonder if we're going to see the other look that we saw the other night on Wednesday when Abby Wambach, to the tune of 2 goals to help lead the U.S. past Mexico. She's had a couple of chances really to put that goal, her 3rd of the campaign, into the back of the net. I'll tell you what, Max, I'm sure neither of these sides want to go to penalty kicks at the end of this second 15 minutes, but you have to think that it does favor Canada in a sense that the U.S. has, without a doubt, dominated the entire second half, as well as here so far in extra time.
Won't clear it. And again, long-range efforts from all the teams in the Gold Cup have come up short. On time, Diana Matheson.
Okay, early long one, early. Come on, Carly, flip it on. Here we go, Car.
Solo, now it's Wagner. Firm challenge there by Amy Walsh. Back by Booth. Up for Wambach. Brings it back. No one following through. Franko. Lloyd. Another miss.
U.S. can afford to be patient here.
Well, back to McLeod. Knocked out there by Robin Gayle as Lilly was hoping for that last deflection that would have set her through. Wagner. Hermus clears.
And there you can see the fatigue on Abby Wambach. Couldn't quite get a burst of energy to get to that ball. Sent inside from Lloyd.
Canada are now bunkered down. And this may be the way they end things. Looking for a counterattack, perhaps. Wambach peels it back, and her fitness has really passed the grade. Lydia Wambach will bounce away from Wilkinson. Throw in Canada.
I think it nicked off of Abby last.
Lilly. Up by Marcy Miller. The build-up works up on the left side, trying to split the defenders. McLeod on her way back. Natasha Kai in the 18. Where's the help? If it's not there, you can't force those passes.
Just a little bit of impatience there from Natasha Kai. Great ball from Kristine Lilly into the space. Kai running forward to get on the end of it. And as you said, could not find much in the way of help.
Lilly gets the ball from Lopez. Canada backs off. Lilly takes what's given. Oh, boy. Can she bang it? A knuckler off of Erin McLeod. Best long-range effort we've seen in the tournament.
I agree with you. We've seen a couple of shots from that type of effort, and I was a little bit down on some of them, but Kristine Lilly getting her money's worth right there. And you could see it on the replay clearly. It looked as though McLeod with a slight fingertip touch to put it over the bar.
Yeah, I haven't missed that. It looked pretty clear. Wilkinson. Gayle. Whitehill up ahead.
Both teams, majority of the players running on fumes at this point, Max, and it all comes down to those last hours of training they put in and those last couple of sprints you put in at the end of a practice. This is where all of that can come in and pay off.
The no-look pass. Kai. Lloyd. Will not go in, but how about that shot by Kai from, and I know I've said this before, but I really mean it this time, an impossible angle was pushed by Erin McLeod.
First, the little blind ball inside. Kai gets on the end of it. Oof. Great ball from Allie Wagner was the one who delivered the service there for Natasha Kai. And Lloyd with the chance at the back post. Not quite the opportunity that Kai had, but credit to the U.S. women's national team. They are putting on some nice display of skill here going forward. They just need to find a way to convert one of these chances.
Canada's wavering here. Wagner. Franko. Lloyd diving in. It looks like Canada have hit the roadblock. And they probably have no other option but to stretch it out for penalties because the U.S. are living in this end. Piecing together attack after attack, finding more space. Out wide, it comes for Kai, but first Robin Gayle.
Good movement again off the ball here for the United States. And actually, they're going to rule that was last touch by Natasha Kai. From our point of view, Max, it clearly looked as though Robin Gayle was the one to touch it out last.
He grazed it off the leg.
I think that replay only confirms that.
When they had two potential corners, you figured they could have got one of them. These are going to be painful minutes for the Canadian backline, who have opened up, but still able to make the decisive play. Whitehill flicked on Wagner. And free kick.
I don't think we've had a Kristine Sinclair sighting in quite a while, have we? It's been all U.S. here in the extra time.
Whitehill, far side. Lloyd, flag is up. A couple players to choose from. Five minutes left. Here's Sinclair, as close as she's been involved in quite some time, maybe this whole extra time. He had a chance to seal it at the end of regulation time. Wambach from Lilly. Jumping leg sweep will give the free kick. And a few words from Wambach to, I believe it was Franko, committed the foul. Whitehill again. Plenty in that one. Slips out. Wagner for Wambach. Desperate defending, and it's getting the job done time and time again. Lopez, McLeod with what's become her trademark save. Mitts.
Now the U.S. just trying to throw it all forward here and see what will happen. Good effort, though, from Erin McLeod in goal for Canada. When in doubt, make sure you punch it clear. That's exactly what she did.
Super run. Kai couldn't get it away. They had the channels filled there to the U.S. Front ball cradled by Kai. Wambach tries to get it through. It gets through. Wagner.
Well, Ali Wagner wanted it there with the left foot, trying to curl one in from just outside the top of the 18, but I think she knows she had Kristine Lilly flanked off to her left side. Could have elected to try and just slip one through. And could that be the kiss? I mentioned it at the top of tonight's match. Christina Kiss was one of the players that was involved in a lot of free kick set piece opportunities for Canada earlier. Looks like she's going to come in as a late sub.
Lilly weaving a mist.
Let's take another look at it on the replay. For her 300-plus caps, Kristine Lilly will show you she has still got that quick first step. She cuts right inside of Martina Franko in the ball on her left foot. She just can't get her knee over the top.
Substitution for Canada, leaving the game, number 13, Amy Walsh.
Amy Walsh out, and we all know the Hot Chocolate song. It's starting with a kiss.
Number 2, Kristine
Canada
Kiss.
hopes they can change the title of that song
The 28th minute of play.
and end it with a kiss. How about a few bars?
Su atención, por favor. Substitución de Canada.
I don't know if my boss is listening, and you may not okay that.
Amy Walsh. Entrado el número 2, Kristine Lilly, en el minuto 28, tiempo agregado.
Just to stall the U.S. attack, anything for Canada. It's been one chance after another in the second extra time session. Maybe the best play by the U.S. tonight.
Right here has been about the extent of the Canada attack, especially in the extra time. I don't think Hope Solo has really had to do much back there. A couple of goal kicks maybe, but it's been all U.S. on the attack. All it takes is one, though, Max.
Lopez back to Hope Solo. Wagner. They time the run, but it's offline. Booth.
And now Greg Ryan has to start thinking about his 5 shooters he wants to put up to the spot here to try and win this one for the United States.
Lloyd. It's a big long pitch and it's going to slow for Lilly. She just got it. And she's gotten around the defense. Overcooked cross. Booth. 120th minute.
Well, why change it? Cat Whitehill will trot over to take the throw here. Use that long throw, looking for Abby Wambach at the near post to try and flick it in at the backside. All numbers forward here for the U.S.
Not enough depth on that one, but still may pay off. Penalty! 121st minute. Kai was brought down and Virginia Tovar's awarded a penalty to the United States.
Well, let's watch it here on the replay. Kristine Lilly takes a little whiff at it, and then watch, there's Abby with a little touch across, and trying to run inside there is Lloyd, the second half substitute. Looked like she had a clear beat on it. This will give us a good look right here. Was she going to get to it first?
May have. It's in that gray area. Kristine Lilly to win the Gold Cup for the United States. Yes! Kristine Lilly, goal number 117, is a trophy winner.
This is going to be a very tough bite to swallow for the Canadian women's national team. Take another look. 120th minute of play. She knew it from the get-go. McLeod down to her right. Kristine Lilly to the other side. And I think we have our 2006 Gold Cup winners on their home turf, the United States.
Number 13, Kristine Lilly.
And that sound is Evan Pelleru destroying the visitors' locker room, I believe. He can't be happy. I don't know what to think about the penalty. It is a massive decision. There was contact, and you get the feeling Kai had a shot to reach that ball. Kiss. Sinclair.
And it looks like Canada is going to get one final chance at it with a corner. 22 players will be inside the box for this one.
One for the time capsule here. Played in, and a huge header. And victory for the United States. For the third time in 3 editions, the United States have won the Women's Gold Cup. And it was never tougher than this.
Well, for the second time as well, they defeat Canada to win the Gold Cup. And a great match for both sides. No one to hang their heads, but it's the U.S. that comes out victorious. Maybe a questionable call from our referee, Virginia Tovar, but I tell you what, she did a spot-on job all night long, and she saw it with the chance there to blow the whistle, and she came through and made the decision. The rest is history as Kristine Lilly buries it, and you see the disappointment there for Canada.
No, you have to feel for these Canadian girls who gave it their all and deserve to win this Gold Cup. They really faded in those last 15 minutes, and you had to wonder how much defending could you do before something like that could happen. And we got the answer. And the United States, who are better finishers and certainly deserve the win, maybe not by that means, will get it, they'll take it. Both these nations are on their way to the 07 World Cup. The United States will go as the regional champions in dramatic fashion. Kristine Lilly from the penalty spot to win it. Some fireworks to conclude the Gold Cup to the advantage of the United States, who get a penalty in the 120th minute, which is converted by Kristine Lilly, and the U.S. still reigns supreme in Concacaf. Valiant effort from Canada, who had their chances to put the Americans away. They didn't, and then the U.S. fitness really came to the forefront, in particular in that second extra time session. And they know that Canadians are clipping at their heels, but just can't get over the hump as the U.S. get another Gold Cup trophy.
And of course, the U.S. keeps that string of victories, or unbeaten streak, I should say, intact under the guidance of Greg Ryan, as it has now run to 31 matches.
Nice sign.
Very nice sign for our FSC fans out there at the HDC tuning in.
We should get her some merchandise for that. We could only get in contact with her. Well, again, people still buzzing, still talking about what we just seen. And Virginia Tovar, our official, gave the penalty. Kristine Lilly, no doubt about it.
Oh, another streak that has been kept alive as Kristine Lilly. We get another look at the penalty, the game-winning penalty, I should say. The U.S. have never lost a game in which Kristine Lilly has started wearing the captain's band. They keep that streak intact as well. And
our Hawaiian friends.
Both of these teams obviously headed to the World Cup, but it's the Gold Cup. And the trophy winners here tonight, the United States.
Tepid celebrations for the United States as they expected to lift this trophy, although maybe not by this route. So they're very happy, but they figured this is their claim.
Well, I was just going to say, I think just as tough as it is for Canada to swallow that this is the way it came about, that they're dealt the loss here in the finals of the 2006 CONCACAF Gold Cup. I think, as you said, a subdued celebration for the United States maybe at this point now, because although they wanted to win it, I don't know if that's the route they wanted to go to win it, but a win is a win, Max, and they will be happy to take their third tournament in 365 calendar days.
And once again, the Canadians disappointed in both of those as they lost to the U.S. 1-0 in South Korea. They lose 2-1 here. The United States, who showed that they may have had a weakness or two on Wednesday against a Mexican team that gave them a handful. And it spilt into this one, where Canada had the United States on the ropes a couple times. Couldn't finish. And at the death of extra time, they get through. Okay, now time to show you our updated look at the Women's World Cup for 07. First in Asia, Australia, South Korea, and Japan perhaps. Japan will take on Mexico.
It'll be a home-and-home series in April of 2007 to determine which of those two teams, Mexico or Japan, will lock up that final berth for the World Cup in China in 07. And other teams that have qualified, we've showed you some of these teams earlier: Nigeria and Ghana. Brazil is in. Argentina about 9.9999% in, as long as they don't get beat severely by Brazil tomorrow, of course, which is what Paraguay is hoping for, right?
Yes, and then it'll be Paraguay going in, but Argentina just about secured. And you could say virtually, and then in UEFA it's all confirmed. Norway, Sweden, Germany, Denmark, England, and then Oceania, as that'll take place in June of 07. That'll be our final participant. And New Zealand seems to be the front runner there. China's also in as the host, so a very nice field.
Don't count out the lady Socceroos down there.
They're in for Asia.
Oh, excuse me.
That's where the confusion started. This is why I think the United States should join UEFA, if that's the way it's going to be.
Gotcha.
Israel and UEFA, that's...
A quick thought, Max. I tell you what, you can see how tolling this was on both sides, this match here tonight. The training staff for both teams down on the field to check on the status of some of the players. I think dehydration definitely setting in. I saw a couple of the U.S. players in particular really taking on the fluids quickly, because 120 minutes of running, that will take its toll.
Well, the question right now, is the Gold Cup on the premises here? There's a bit of a dry patch waiting for the trophy presentation and the presentation of the medals, and I see some activity on the far side, and perhaps that will represent the silverware, yeah, or the goldware. Look at that.
Ooh, I can see your reflection from here.
Staying in the USA.
3 times is the charm here for the United States, and I think only fitting, because if you think back to the last time in 2002 when they got past Canada to win the Gold Cup, it was a number of those players from the golden age of U.S. women's soccer: Joy Fawcett, Julie Foudy, Mia Hamm, and now, in a sense, a ceremonial passing of the torch, if you will. We mentioned some of the players like Brianna Scurry and Kristine Lilly. They're some of the holdovers from that golden generation that are passing on the legacy of the U.S. women's national team to some of the newer players like Carly Lloyd, Leslie Osborne, Kat Whitehill, Heather Mitz, and of course Hope Solo in goal. And now in 2006, some of those ladies are going to have a chance to show off the trophy here.
And the representatives of Concacaf will have to be happy with the way this tournament has developed. They have competition, which is the most important part. You don't have American domination as it was in the past, where most of these nations wouldn't dare get on the same pitch as the USA. But now Canada can certainly hold their own. Mexico can as well, and we'll see about the rest. You know,
Canada's number 22,
the presentations of the trophy. Erin McLeod gets the MVP award in Canada, and well deserved, as she had some super saves, couldn't keep the penalty out.
McLeod, one of several members of the Canadian women's national team that play on the Vancouver Whitecaps, a native of Calgary, and it was her 28th appearance for the Canadian national team here tonight.
And now, please welcome.
I think it'd be safe to say, Max, she has a long career in terms of national team status ahead of her as the top keeper in the Gold Cup here this evening.
Mexico's number 9.
They have the top goal scorer, and we mentioned in the Jamaica-Mexico there was a 3-way tie, and we didn't break it.
Number 17, Monica Ocampo, along with Canada's number 12, Kristine Sinclair.
They're a 4-way tie.
And Team USA's number 20, Abby Wambach.
So 4 players getting 2 goals, so they're going to have to split the pie.
And it looks like still only Sinclair and obviously Abby Wambach are the 2 players that have stuck around for this one.
Ocampo and Maribel Dominguez, the 2 Mexican players. There you go, Abby, you can have the top. I'll keep it for a week.
Congratulations.
See, great minds think alike.
Well, since it's a 4-way tie, they each get 3 months out of the year to drive that thing around.
And now
there you see the 4 names that all got 2 goals apiece.
Most Valuable Player Award to Team USA's number 13, Kristine Lilly.
Kristine Lilly getting the MVP trophy.
And she comes up with the game winner in the 120th minute of play here in the final, and I tell you what, she has done a stellar job continuously working up and down that left sideline in the midfield for the U.S. women's national team. Deservedly so, Kristine Lilly, our MVP of the 2006 Gold Cup.
So you see Jack Warner and others up on the podium.
Congratulations to Team USA.
And fair play trophy goes to Team USA, and Kristine Lilly's up again.
She will be up as captain of the U.S. women's national team. She will accept the trophy here for the Fair Play Award for the U.S.
Congratulations to Team USA.
And now the main one.
As he presents the second place medals to Team Canada.
And Team Canada, nothing to hang their heads about here, Max. They came up a bit short, obviously, and the late penalty by Virginia Tovar, our referee here on this one. Obviously, the breaking point in this one, led by one of the candidates up for the FIFA Women's World Player of the Year, Kristine Sinclair. She had the 2 goals in the win over Jamaica back on Wednesday. Just couldn't quite get it going up top here tonight for Canada. And I think we discussed it earlier, but deservedly so, that the U.S. comes out the champions here tonight. But a great effort and nothing to be ashamed of here for the Canadian women's national team.
Squad of 20. And for some, the tears are not dry yet. It is a sudden turn of events. We saw them on a cusp of a famous victory, all of a sudden turn to just yet another loss to their arch rival.
There was Randee Hermus receiving her medal, and she, of course, had just before the halftime break, she had the equalizing goal, a left-footed volley past Hope Solo to bring this one level at 1 apiece. And hard to believe it wasn't until some 75 minutes later that we saw another goal off the left foot of Kristine Lilly.
Silver medalists, Canada.
And at what point does Evan Pellerud get to come out and get his medal?
I'm sure it'll be arraigned. And no truth that he was blocking the path of the Gold Cup coming out here.
Aha, now we get down to it.
Good effort, ladies. Your day, I'm sure, will come.
There is a bigger prize at hand, obviously the 2007 World Cup trophy, but as we said, second place here in Southern California in the Concacaf 2006 Gold Cup, not too bad.
And now please welcome Mike Edwards and Concacaf President Jack Warner as they present the first place medals to the national team of the United States of America.
Time now for the U.S. to wrap up the proceedings. And by Kristine Lilly again, whose skills have not diminished whatsoever based on what we saw here. She clearly can do things that very few others can.
Well, 13 goals in 2006 now for Kristine Lilly. And a 19-year international career. As we said back on Wednesday, it's been a slight bolster to her career. The fact that she's moved from the midfield really to a forward position, hasn't had to do quite as much running. She will be a crucial key in terms of success when they go to China in 2007.
You see Kate Markgraf with her son, an infant son, on the podium. And a couple of hard weeks here for the U.S. returning from South Korea and getting right into the training for this. Obviously spending time away from family and friends. And it's going to be something that they're going to have to deal with a lot down the road here, because the schedule will not ease heading into next year. And there's Kate and son. When you think about when these ladies start families, how demanding it is to get back in playing shape. I think none of us men can even fathom what a challenge that must be.
There's actually a couple of moms on the U.S. women's side. It all started with Joy Fawcett back in the mid-90s after she made her comeback from having a child. And now Kate Markgraf, along with Tina Frimpong, a couple of players. There's Heather Mitz. did a stellar job in defense. I tell you what, Max, the defense was tight and a tough combination to break for Canada here tonight. And there's your winning side.
Plus 2 young members along with them. As predicted, but not certainly by this means, a mighty challenge from Canada.
And now,
The United States.
Jack Warner to present the
Here we go, Jack Warner come out.
Women's Gold Cup Championship Trophy.
For many of these ladies, is really the first major trophy that they're winning. Kristine Lilly's lifted trophies before. She knows all about it. And the U.S., as it gets later
Ladies and gentlemen,
here in Los Angeles,
Women's Gold Cup champions.
it is final. The U.S., the 2006 Gold Cup champions.
Let's give all of our teams a warm round of applause and wish them the best of luck in
Well, Max, I think you would agree it is deservedly so. They had the advantage in the run of play, the advantage in shots on goal, the advantage going forward. They seem to still have a bit of burst in their step in the last couple of minutes, and the final kick into the back of the net by Kristine Lilly from the penalty spot proved to be the difference.
Greg Ryan still undefeated.
Have a wonderful evening and please drive home safe. Good night.
And this, the final game of the 06 calendar again for the U.S. women. And now the U.S. can say they've won both men's and women's Gold Cup, at least the last editions. Next year, different story, certainly. We'll see where this goes. Canada were impressive, as were Mexico, but U.S. win the trophy. Thanks for joining us on behalf of everyone. It's been a fun week. Producer Alfredo Llamas, Mark Rogadino, solid job, my friend. Max Brunos saying so long.